So guys, before we get started, don't forget we do have that amazing discount code thanks to Tier 0 Games going on right now. And all you have to do is put in ZWGames5 to get 5% discount on your total order at tier0games.com. The links will be in the description below. What's up YouTube, Dat here from Z4 Games, bringing you an update to the Magical Musket deck profile. So huge shout out to Sean's story on this one. Basically, I just saw him pull out his Magical Muskets this weekend and I went, oh damn, I haven't looked at them for a while. So I looked back at them and I was like, oh yeah, we got Pot of Acquisitiveness now, or Extravagance. I was like, ah, that actually really helps the deck. And then of course we've got the new Link 1 coming out at hopefully some point. We haven't got an exact date right now. So I thought it would be a good idea to update the deck, show you what it can do now. It is still more of a fun deck than a full-on control deck, but it can still cause your opponent a huge amount of issues if it goes off, if being the opportune word. So without further ado, what I'm going to do is take you through the deck profile, show you exactly what we've got, explain why we've got it. If you have any questions, put them in the comments down below. I'll be more than happy to help out. So of course, we start off with triple Magical Musket Caspar. This of course is your searcher of the deck. Triple Magical Musket Starfire. This of course special summons one from your deck in defense position, which can be very, very good, because then if you've got more spells and traps, you then trigger them off, get a search, and you're sitting on 2, which is basically what the deck needs to have. Is it needs to have more than one Magical Musket on board to really, really cause your opponent issues. Double Magical Musket Kid Brave. Now this can clash with Pot of Acquisitiveness because it does draw, but ideally you want to be triggering it during your opponent's turn. Double Magical Musketeer Doc. This of course revives a Magical Musket card from the graveyard, so it can add monster, spell, or trap, which is really, really good. Now we've got to play the one Musket Wild and the one Musket Calamity. Not a lot of people play these. The reason I play these is it's another way to get into Starfire if you play your Ties of the Brethren, but also it's sometimes going to be very, very good to revive a monster Magical Musket from your graveyard if you are running low on resources. And again, Magical Musket Wild, sending them back to the deck if you are running low on resources. It's a low monster count, but they are all very, very important. And it can get the game going. This is what you need. The issue with this deck is you do need to have more than one Magical Musket on board in order to use and abuse all the cards to the best of their abilities. So, speaking of which, for the spells, we've got triple Magical Musket Cross Domination. Now, if you control Magical Musket, monster target one face-up monster on the field until the end of this turn, change its attack to 0. Also, its effects negate. Now, there's both good and bad things about this. The good thing is you can activate it during damage calculation. The bad thing is your Magical Muskets don't go off during damage calculation, which is a very, very shame. They should have been able to go off during damage calculation, because then it would have given these even more use. So you now really need to choose, do you want to use it during damage calculation to cause your opponent issues, or do you want to use it as an effect veiler as well? One Magical Musket Steady Hand. So this one allows you to target a Magical Musket you control and its attack becomes double. So again, it can be done during damage calculation until the end of this turn. It can't attack directly. During the turn you activate this card, you can only activate 1 per turn. So it's okay card. It's not amazing, but again, it's another damage calculation that can really, really sort out any of your opponent's issue monsters, especially if they've got big beaters on board, because that's the one thing that the deck doesn't have is massive beaters. Then of course we've got triple Pot of Extravagance. We do not rely on the extra deck here, so this can give you additional draw power, along with triple Call by the Grave. You want your effects to go off, especially your Ties of the Brethren, so you have to be very, very careful on that. You want to make sure that your opponent does not stop that going off, which is why we also play Instant Fusion, to make sure we can protect ourselves as best we possibly can. Triple Ties of the Brethren, probably one of the most important cards in the deck. You do want to get as many Musketeers on board as possible. That then means you can kind of maintain hand advantage when you're activating the spells and traps from your hand during your opponent's turn. Triple Toon Table of Contents and 1 Tomb World. Now, not a lot of people play this. I still like it purely because this gives you at least 4 activations, all from the one card, and it deck fins. So you would activate with the first one, get an effect off your Magical Musket, play the second one, get the effect off the next Magical Musket, play the third one, get the effect for that, and then if you really, really have to, you play the Tomb World and get the effect off of that one as well. The only issue is the Tomb World then locks out that column, so you've got to make sure you use it on a card that you're either going to get rid of, move, or not use again. Easily take out for different cards if you wish. Another good card, of course, is Thanos Dragon, because you're going to be dropping that during your opponent's turn. You can also play Impermanences. They can give you double the protection as well, because you'll be activating it. You'll shut off your opponent's column and work it that way as well. I believe there is also another Magical Musket trap card that we should be getting at some point in the future, which locks your opponent's monster zone as well that column is used in. So it's very, very good and can kind of keep the deck going further forward. Double summon because, like I said, you want to make sure you've got additional magical muskets in play. And then on top of this, if you normal summon like Starfire, activate double summon in Starfire's column. Starfire then special summons one from the deck. This thing lets you trigger, and you've got an additional normal that gives you another route into Ties of the Brethren that doesn't lock you, doesn't cost you 2,000 life points, and does not lock you out of special summoning. Then, of course, 2 instant fusions, and when we get to the extra deck, you'll see we play the Millennium Eyes Restrict, and of course, Thousand Eyes Restrict, ways of breaking opponents' annoying boards, and of course, you know, stopping your opponent hand trapping you as best you possibly can. For the traps, we've got triple of the counter. This is probably the most insane thing. You can activate a spell speed free counter from your hand. The only issue is this is when it activates a spell or trap card while you control magical muskets, so it's not a monster effect. It's not like a full-on solemn warning, but it can still cause huge amounts of issues. Triple Desperado. Very, very good on this card. You control magical musket, you target one face-up card on the field and destroy it. It'd be better if it didn't target, but you know, you can't have everything your own way. And then of course we've got the one Dancing Needle. With so many cards relying on cards in the graveyard, this is very, very good because it targets up to 3 cards, not just 3 monsters, in the graveyard and banishes them. So if your opponent's going with, puts a Spinny Engrave with the trap card, Roar that they sent off of Gazelle, and then they have a Falco, you can banish all 3 of those. Even if it's Falco or Jaguar, you can banish all 3 of those, and that can really, really slow your opponent down and cause them a lot of issues, so that's very, very good. And then of course we've got one Musket Fiendish Deal. This combos off nicely with a spicy tech in the extra deck. Basically, magical musket monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects. If this card in your possession is sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card effect, you add 1 magical musket card from your deck to your hand. You can only activate it once per turn. The issue with this is, of course, it is a continuous, so whatever column you play it in will lock that column out for future play. Now, I think the magical muskets are a very, very good deck to play around with, just to get used to like the column basis, because it is even more important as the game goes on of column placement. So it can be a very, very interesting deck to play around with. Now again, we're playing the Pot of Extravagance, so you don't need to worry about your extra deck hugely, but here are a couple of cards that we play around with. So your Time Thief Reader, I think that's really, really fun. It's probably the best rank 4 right now in the game. Causes a lot of issues, and being able to rip from your opponent's top of your opponent's deck, draw an additional card, can really, really cause issues and give you additional pluses. 2 Hit Poseidon. All your monsters are light in the main deck, so giving them a nice little boost can always be helpful. And then of course you've got your standard Cerberus, Phoenix, Unicorn, Boral Load and Boral Sword. Rare that you'll go into these, but it's always nice to have them if you've got them. And then the nice sweet little tech is Bomber Dragon. So if you combo this off with your Fiendish Deal, then of course every time you bring out a monster or special summon a monster to a zone it points to, you're nuking your opponent's board, so you're getting an on-play Regeki, which is very, very cool, because your magical muskets can't be destroyed by card effect. We've then got the one Raijin, the one Gargoyle Cowboy, just in case those moments into time. If you can get into a rank 4, you know, happy days. If not, you can also play rank 3s as well. And then, of course, finishing off the lineup, like I said, is double Millennium Eyes and double Thousand Eyes. Thousand Eyes to help you break some boards, and Millennium Eyes to stop you getting hand trapped. You really need your effects to go off, so you've got to be very, very careful. And Instant Fusion gives you an additional Call by the Grave, in a sense, for the low, low cost of 1,000 life points. So that is it for the deck profile. Quite straightforward, simple, to the point. Again, like I said, it's not the most busted deck in the world. It is an incredibly fun deck and fully enjoyable. I'm glad that the Magical Musket cards are slightly started to reduce in price, so you're not paying ridiculous prices for like your Caspars and your Starfires. I definitely advise picking them up because the Link one is very, very cool. And I really, really can't wait to play that Link one in the deck. It really helps consistency out quite a bit. But that is it for the deck profile. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Any questions, put them in the comments below. Be more than happy to answer them for you. And as always, guys, happy dueling. What's up, YouTube? Dad here from YUGIOH Games. Thanks for watching that video. If you liked it, please hit that big thumbs up button in the bottom corner as well. And don't forget to hit the big red subscribe button so you don't miss out on anything. Make sure you click that notification bell as well so you know every time one of our new videos goes up. Throughout the whole year of 2019, we're going to have more deck profiles, duels, and of course pack openings for you guys to watch and enjoy the entire year round. So stay tuned for more, and as always guys, happy dueling.